Hello, my name is Kinshasa Nicholas, and I'm going to be discussing the impact of doing this case study for reading, diagnosis, instruction, and improvement. And mine was really interesting because Jasmine, the child that I used for the case study, when I began the project, it was really interesting because her family stated that she really enjoyed reading. Her teacher stated as well that reading was something that she really enjoyed. And so one of the early issues on was that she might have a problem with comprehension. And so that was really interesting to me because once I heard comprehension, I just said, okay, well, she's reading the material, but she's just not obviously retaining it, right? Because that's what our understanding of what comprehension is. But what was really interesting to me was, upon further research for this case study, I realized that there were a couple of things that were connected. So yes, she had the issue with comprehension. But she also had an issue, with fluency, right? With reading fluency. And then she also had an issue with decoding. So those challenges together all made sense of why she was having the problem with the comprehension. So if you have a problem usually with decoding, for example, if you have a problem breaking apart words or breaking them apart so you're able to pronounce them, that can slow you down when you're reading, right? Because you're taking a lot of time trying to break that word apart, or trying to figure out how to say that word, or trying to figure out what that word is, right? But then the other part is that, so the decoding is one thing, but then the fluency comes into place when you're spending all that time trying to decode and trying to figure out what that word is, and the rate of your reading is slowed down. So you're not as fluid when you're reading because you're busy trying to decode. You're busy trying to figure out what that word is. And then all of that leads into your comprehension, because if you don't know what the word is, if you're taking a longer time to read, your pace of reading is slowed down because you're spending a lot of time decoding, then the essence of the story or the gist of the story gets lost. So that was really, really interesting to me. And when I first went into this, I didn't think that I would have those three components. And I didn't realize right away how those three components were actually really linked together, and they are. So that was really interesting to me. Also, I have to say, doing a project like this that is so extensive and it was so detailed, it really allowed me to really, really fully understand what this process is like. And I was fortunate enough because I worked at a school where the teacher I was working under, she was wonderful, and she allowed me to perform a lot of these assessments. And I used Marie Clay, which is different than what we did here, but similar as well, where the children had to read out loud, and then there was a silent reading portion, and then there was explicit and implicit comprehension questions that they had to answer. So that was done, but I didn't really understand it as much and grasp it as much as I did while I was doing this project. Probably because it was so hands-on, and I was able to see this project from the beginning all the way to the end. So I had so many aha moments. Like I said, the biggest one was about how reading fluency, decoding, and comprehension are linked together. That was the hugest moment for me doing this kind of project. And it was also interesting to me to see how the components of people working together, that support system, how crucial that support system is to children. Having mom and dad there to read every night to her, being able maybe to do this activity with her sibling, needing the support from her teachers at school, also needing the support from her, needing the support from her tutor, Allison. So all of those things were extremely important, and they were all linked together. And so the support system to me was also very important. Another moment that I had that really kind of blew me away was obviously just being able to perform the IRI. And in the beginning, thinking about, okay, what level would she be on? So based on the information I received from her, based on the information I received from her family, I thought right away, okay, she probably would be in a 3-2 reading level, a 3-2 reading level. Obviously, upon further research and upon conducting this IRI, we arrived that she was comfortably more so at a 3-1, which made more sense. I mean, the 3-2, she had 4 errors, four miscues, and that wasn't comfortable for her. That didn't feel comfortable for her. That felt more like frustration. And we don't want our students to be at the frustration level, because at that level, everything's just going above their head because they're so uncomfortable and they feel frustrated. They're not able to understand the text. Maybe the words obviously are over their heads, so they're not able to decode at all, and they're just, it's really at a frustration point, which is what that word is. You just feel so frustrated. Imagine how you feel when you're so frustrated. You're not listening to anything that anybody is saying. So, for example, with reading, it's the same thing. And also, I thought one of my other takeaways was from doing this task is that there's so many things that you can do to help her to improve. And such, look, very easy things to do that can be done like on a daily basis. And I gave a lot of examples here in my paper, but just having, her family, for example, they read every night together, and just switching it up a little bit. Why not play some games? Okay, play Scrabble, for example. All of that will help to build her vocabulary, and it's fun. So she's not even realizing I'm learning. I'm just having a good time. I'm with my family. I'm with my sister. I'm with my twin sister, and I'm just having a great time. But all of that can build vocabulary. Also, what about for example, reading the New York Times? Her father, her parents get the Times delivered on a daily basis. So why not take that time and read an article to her? And I thought that was a huge part, reading to Jasmine. Because a lot of parents say, oh, my daughter's in 2nd grade, my daughter's in 3rd grade, she knows how to read, why would I read to her? That time together is so precious. And when you're reading to them, it takes on a different form. When somebody's reading to you, you're listening to it in a different way than as if you were sitting down with your book and reading the text. So that's such a great opportunity for new words, new vocabulary words, or for her to use context clues to figure out what the words mean on her own. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that she's doing in school, she can be doing at home. And so there's such easy ways to be able to do that. So I just want to say I really enjoyed this class this semester. This is one of my first online classes at Toro. I really enjoyed it. I've learned so much. This is one of my favorite classes. And it's really interesting because a lot of what I learned I could have used taking the teacher's exams, but I passed them all. I'm certified, so I don't have to take them. I'm very happy about that. But this information would have been really helpful if I had to take the CST multi again, because this is exactly what the essay is about. And so I taught myself all of this information so that way I could pass the test, and that's what I did. But I just want to say thank you, Professor Burton. I really enjoyed this class, and I learned a lot, especially about reading diagnosis, instruction, and improvement. So thank you again, and have a great rest of the semester.